Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is the gameplay I had previously recorded on the Smolderfry video, but my mic was turned off, so it ended up being not what I was looking for, but I did end up just speeding it up, and I figure I could do some light commentary over those sped up games just because they were good games, and I thought they showcase what kind of strengths this crit has. Let's get right into it. This first game is a Lavazard lead. Not much to say here, pretty much just hit on lead, and I noticed there was no water on the other side, so I figured Smolderfry and Flintley would be massive additions here to make progress into the keeper. But we just hit on lead, trade some hits here with the Lavazard. I think he ends up switching to the Gnarlope, which is a really odd play in my opinion. Nothing he loses from just kind of trading this crit for the Smolder here, but he ended up giving me more turns to get another Orbital Annihilation off. I didn't want to switch to the Rockadile because I didn't want to take a crit from the keeper on a snipe. He ends up switching here for some odd reason. It ends up giving me a massive amount of progress on this Gnarlope, like you will see here shortly. Doing 71 there, just trading most of this Gnarlip away for the rest of the Smolderfry. Really amazing actually that this thing took out almost 2 crits, and then I get a switch and I get a free Orbital Annihilation later as well. Not much to say here. Flintley comes in because I see the Keeper coming in next, so I think for order this is my best crit to go to. I believe he snipes with the Naboro, a crit you don't see too often in the meta. Kind of a cool epic, has negate, confuse, and 12 block on final with 34 AP. Very strong. But I just go to the Rockadile here because it's probably my best trade for this. I save my fire types for keeper. And then here, I believe I negate and fight. But let's see here, I'm unsure. We do negate and overflow just to finish that off. And then he gets a double turn. I go for one final just to get a stack of bleed and something. And I think I end up trying to hit again, but I end up missing, which is unfortunate, but ends up not mattering in the end, luckily. He's going to hit again. I end up switching because I realize I've wasted way too much of this Rockadile on the keeper here. I do believe he's going to switch. I'm going to switch as well to the Bloom Bat, and I think he ends up fighting this for a little bit here. I think he goes for a Confuse. No? I end up getting a Snipe off, and because Rockadile has such good elemental defense, I end up living the double turn, the Snipe here, and putting him in a really tough position. End up getting another final here. Massive damage there, 83 damage on the keeper. And he's going to heal, and I'm just going to put in work here. And then he ends up switching again, which is very odd. Very odd. But nonetheless, I think this game ends up getting close because he does hit a Confuse here in a little bit. But I just hit. I realize that I'm in a place where I don't actually have to switch anymore. I think he finishes me off. And then I just get a final off. And then I think his next move is to Confuse here. He gets the 1-on-1, of course. I negate him. He gets another final off, but at this point I've done enough damage that a Smolderfry final will always kill, so I have nothing to worry about. And this game ended just how it started, with a massive hit from Smolderfry. Whammo! Get destroyed, kid. And then this next game I believe is another. I think it's an Eclipso matchup, if I remember. It's a Dark Lavarilla on lead, and then there's also an Eclipso, a Keeper, and then a Slithero here. I think I was thinking here that my best play is really just to trade this on lead because I have another fire type in the back, and I don't really want to take a snipe on anybody, and I would like to save the Flintley HP, so I don't want to switch in and take a double turn on that from the Eclipso after I kill the lava, so I end up pretty much just trading this straight up for it. I do realize sometimes when I'm making these gameplay commentaries that I'm a little inexperienced in terms of talking and playing at the same time, so sometimes I think my comms might not line up with what's actually happening. But I feel like for the most part I'm on point, and I'm hoping to get better, of course. But yeah, I think I just trade this straight up here. I think he switches here to Slithero if I'm correct. And then I just go Crocodile, and then he goes Keeper. I think this game ends up being a switch battle for quite a while. Yeah, if I remember, we switch until it gets up to about 40 tick per switch. Not much to say in that regard. He did switch first, so I was comfortable kind of playing this line. I tried to situate myself in a way to where the red card was not going to work out, but I think he does end up lunaring here, resetting the switch game, and then I end up just switching to foil Crocodile and trying to 1v1 the keeper. I realized it was probably my best line because he has another red card to reset switch penalty again later if he wants to. So I end up just negating here and fighting. I think I was considering a sleep, but ultimately the negate just made more sense and was the safer play. I don't like to spam typically, but you'll be surprised to see here the Crocodile does really well against the keeper. Almost 1v1s it completely actually, going second, which shows how much of a elemental defense tank this thing is. And after the recent buffs, it's a lot better. Taking this down to 9 HP with a stack of bleed, we kill it with the Flintly. And at this point, I just hit, pretty much just hoping that my two bruisers here can beat the Eclipso and the Slithero. He already used his Lunar, so that's huge for Flintly to get as much damage off here as possible. And not much to say here. I negate so that I don't kill myself on my own turn. I think I end up doing just enough damage here to kill it. Yep. Just barely, which is perfect, and it puts my Boombat in a perfect position to 1v1 this Slithero. I think I end up even needing a renew here just to put me just in range to not die from the last Slithero hit, and then we get kind of a clean victory. So yeah, thanks for watching. This was just a couple extra games that I forgot to turn my mic on for, so I ended up having no audio for it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and please stay tuned for more content like this in the future.